Okay.
Holy cow,
Hey, everybody. This is exciting. Wow. We've been anticipating this now for a couple weeks, and it's finally here. We are Tabletop Misfits, of course, and we are going to put on a bit of a fun prologue before we head into our adventure known as There and Back Again, yet again, the One Ring RPG live play. Before we start, just a heads up, this will follow The Lord of the Rings, and it'll be between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. So if you've read those two books, you kind of will get a grasp of some of what the things you're seeing. If you want to continue to help us, head over to our Discord. The entire cast has been active all week preparing for this. If you can't see, they've all come out in fantastic costumes. And we are just excited to get into this. If you can't tell, we've been laughing for about, I don't know, like 25 minutes off and on, which is great. If you want to continue to support us a little more, you can head over to our Patreon, where we have actually put linked so that you can create your own NPC in the One Ring, and that character will most likely show up in one of the episodes or multiple episodes during our adventure. And so announcements are done. Next thing is the big one, giveaway. So tonight, Free League Publishing gave us the opportunity to help us out. And they gave us a free digital copy of The One Ring on DriveThruRPG. If you've kept sight of our social media, you'll know that we're going to be releasing that. All you need to do is make sure you're a follower. So make sure you hit that follow button and make sure you have an email linked to DriveThruRPG. And our tech will take care of all that fun stuff later in the show. Before we continue, I would like you to just introduce everybody so that everybody can say who they are, where you can find them, and what they do. So we'll start first with Matt.
You want like my character introduction or just me?
No, you.
Oh, I'm Matt, and I'm just here. I don't really have an online presence anywhere. I think you can find
Matt
me
if you're animal sick in Central Texas. No way.
Matt's one of the Misfits, so you'll find him on all the shows.
I do have an Instagram, Misfits Matt, but it's mainly just to do Misfit stuff. But yeah, that's me.
Phil?
Did you say Phil? Oh, okay. Yep. I am Phil, yes. My name is Phil McNevin. You can find it on the chat because it's a little hard to spell. But you can find me everywhere that there's an online presence. I pretty much have one there. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the things. YouTube.
Where all Phils are sold.
Where all Phils are sold. You may find me there.
Don't have a closet of Phils?
Mm-hmm. All the Phils. All of them.
All the Phils all the time.
Next, we have our special guest for the night, Ben.
Hello, I am Benjamin. I go by Adventures Await Studios on the internet. I write all kinds of D&D stuff, 5th edition compatible, over on my website, adventuresawaitstudios.com. Over 100 adventures there. Go and check it out. I'm on other socials, but I'm terrible at those, so just check on my website.
Of course, our wonderful artist, Breena.
Hi.
How can they find you?
Don't laugh at me. I'm nervous. I am Breena. You can find me all over the internet as Breena Luna Lives, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. You can see my art here a lot.
We'll see some in a little bit.
Yeah. That's all.
That's all.
The end.
Allan.
Hi.
Show me boobs, Allan.
Yeah,
don't do that.
I've been working on these, but we'll get to them tonight.
Whoa, they got a for that. Put it down.
Where to find me at on the internet? I don't know, because I usually try to hide everyone on the internet, which is like the opposite of my role. So I'm just here.
Allan's working as part of our social media advancement over on the Misfits, so he'll be around more and more as you see his face and his wonderful voices. Finally, come on, Austin.
Oh shit, he's late again.
Hi. You know what? Hi, I'm Austin. You can find me on the internet, also somewhere. Omnitoast is usually everywhere that I have. I have a stream channel that's primarily through Facebook, a little bit on Twitch, but I do that mostly for fun. I'm on the internet because I have to be a part of the Misfits mostly, but we have a good time every time.
All right, so we've gotten through all of our introductions. So let's begin our adventure, shall we? So for people who don't know, we are starting in the spring of 2960 of the Third Age. We will begin our place in a wonderful home that you all are very familiar with, known as the Shire. So, after quite a long walk under stars that have come out blazing and bright after an afternoon of heavy rain, you finally come to the round green door of Bag End, the home of the strange and famous Bilbo Baggins. Standing there upon the mat, you find yourself surrounded by distant relations. It seems as though Bilbo called all of you family to join him this evening. Just as one of you is about to ring the bell, the door is pulled open, and you see standing in the front hall none other than Master Baggins. He offers each of you an energetic greeting and quickly ushers you in with a plethora of welcomes, thank yous, and lovely to see yous. Or you can gather your wits about you. You've been swept into the warm embrace of Bag End and led into the parlor where a lovely fire, fresh mugs of ale, plates of dainties, and several cushioned chairs and sofas offer a much-needed spot of rest and relaxation. Bilbo, a twinkle in his eye, ushers you each into a seat, but takes none for himself. So, at this moment, as you all find a seat, we'll go through characters. First, because the list is the way it is, we're going to start with the eldest of the group, Ferdinand.
That's me. Yes, I am Ferdinand Took. I am the beautiful Orangeblossom's uncle on her mother's side, and I have done a bit of traveling in my day, but I've returned home as things are getting darker, and I feel like perhaps the Shire could use one of my abilities.
For Ferdinand, we have my brain's not working.
I'm going to keep vamping while James is trying to figure out the tech.
My thing keeps jacking up, I'm telling you.
You see, I was a doctor. I'm a doctor, is what I practice at. I'm a healer. And I've traveled after hearing the tales of Bilbo and all of the wonderful healing arts that were practiced at the Battle of the Five Armies and at Rivendell. I set out on my own to learn a few things here and there from different healing people. I stopped in Rivendell for a while. For a while, I actually made it all the way up to that city where Aragorn is king in the last movie, which I forgot the name, Minas Tirith. And I went to the houses of healing there and learned a bit more there than really the elves, because the elves tend to heal with their elvy weirdness, and hobbits aren't so much capable of that kind of thing. But other than that, that's it. I've run out of things to vamp with, James.
No, you're fine. No, we're going to move to Mr. Paladin Took.
Oh, well, good day. I'm Paladin Took. I'm so very honored that you all invited me here to partake in this grand adventure or mission or quest or whatever you call it. You need people of intelligence, you see, on these types of missions. And I may only be 27 years old and not quite an adult yet, but I very much appreciate being invited to partake in this. I'm rambling. Yes, that's me, because I'm a bit nervous, you see, being my first mission and quest and all.
It's all right. It's all right.
Took.
Calm yourself, Mr.
Baggins.
Young
Okay,
paladin,
I'll take
calm
a seat.
yourself.
May I have
Take
some
a
of that
seat.
nice crispy bacon while I take a seat?
Of course.
Merci beaucoup. Apparently, I speak a little bit of a weird language that I started to make up.
Right. And while Mr. Baggins gets him a bit of bacon, we're going to go to Rory.
All right, Baggins, what is it you're up to?
Oh, I'm nothing of the sort. Just maybe some good conversation.
Ever since that lizard plucked you up and dropped you off a year later with a sack of gold and a twinkle in your eye, you've been up to something.
Oh, don't believe it. Why would you say something like that?
And you don't get to be the master of Buckland by letting little things slip under your eye.
That's right, and you're going to be one soon.
Indeed, and I plan on getting there ripe and healthy. So whatever shenanigans or troubles you might be bringing to the Shire, you better fess up.
No shenanigans here. My adventures are behind me, he says with a wink.
I get a little bit disappointed hearing that.
And another, while Ferdinand walked in and sat down, we had mentioned of a relative of his, Orangeblossom. Can you tell us about your character?
Oh, yes. Hi, I'm Orangeblossom. Well, I just turned 33 2 months ago, and I've just been dying to go on an adventure. So if that's what this is about, count me in.
And of course, Miss Lobelia, would you like to tell about yourself?
Such a pleasure to be here, Bilbo Baggins. More like a brandy book, not a real Baggins. Not a right and proper Baggins, it is. I'm just here to keep the rest of you out of trouble, because I know the type of sort that you hang around, Bilbo. You should be a proper hobbit and instead of trouble, these wild adventures that you go on. I'm
You're
here to
just
keep the rest
still
of us
mad
in
that I
line.
came back in time before you could take my place.
Actually, I'm the rightful owner of Baggin. I just allow you to dwell here for the time being.
Of course. She's been saying this for months. I don't understand where she's getting it from.
Well, I mean,
And-
it's pretty obvious where she's getting it from. This house is called Sackville Baggin, right? Not just. Oh, that's right. It's called Baggin.
Baggin.
It's not Sackville Baggin.
And, of course a Took would say that.
And finally, but not without any sort of representation, Drogo. Come on.
Yes. Oh, don't rush me. You've already rushed me out of my home. Now, where's... Oh, you better have good reason for this. I was all tucked in with... Okay, all right.
Tucked in with bruh.
But, a nice wing of brandy, actually. But no, you were going to just whisk me about. All right. Are you off to something? Where are we going now? Are you leaving? Because I don't plan on leaving.
Oh no, I'm here just to get you all some wonderful meal and have some conversation.
All right. Well, I'm helping myself to a drink. Does anybody else want something?
No, there's multiple drinks. I mean, if you'd like, you can have whatever you'd like. It's out on the table.
I would
You
like
can see
the
an
proper answer of
assortment of-
why we're here.
Pastries and meats and cheeses and ale.
I have a spot of old Toby.
Oh, yes. Maybe later.
I reach into my pocket and pull out a packet of tobacco and just toss it to him.
You want his Ferdinand? There you go.
Just repack my pipe a little bit. I'll take a cup of that elven red that you and Gandalf are so fond of, if you don't mind.
Damnable lizard. Nothing good comes when he arrives and leaves.
Well, he has pretty amazing fireworks.
I was going to break out one of the finest wines of Buckland instead, if you don't mind.
At least he has a proper drink on hand.
He goes into another room for a moment while you all are sitting around eating and drinking and being merry. He comes back with a very fine glass bottle and he uncorks it. Immediately you can smell the aromas. Haven't had one of these in a long time. But, this is a perfect example of a great time to just enjoy it. And he pulls a small glass for each of you. Now, he places one hand behind his back, another in his pocket. And you can see the smile starting to curl across his face. You are all undoubtedly curious as to why I've called you here this evening. I can tell because Lobelia has yet to sit down.
But you look awfully suspicious as usual, Bilbo.
Right. And maybe I do enjoy a good adventure, but who am I if I didn't? I'm hoping you will partake in maybe something of a little fun, maybe a little adventure.
I lean over to Orangeblossom.
Even something for you.
This is it, isn't it? The adventure.
Even something for you, Lobelia. Even something for you. Nothing what I've done before, but something small.
Yes,
to wet your feet.
Master Baggins, I think that if Lobelia really thinks about it, she'll remember that when her Odo fell off of his horse last year, it was I who used a bit of knowledge gained at one of these adventures to set it and make sure that he didn't lose the leg. So perhaps a bit more respect for your elders, Lobelia?
Respect for your elders? Unbelievable. The activities that go on in this place, this shire, have been sullied by your adventures. That's not how proper hobbits act.
I agree,
Maybe
Lobelia.
not where you're from, but for us Tooks, the Took in us, an adventure is always around. But
Tooks are all fools. Everyone knows this.
Right. Enough of you. Quiet for a moment. Let me speak in my house, Bag End.
Now,
I'm afraid that the adventure I'm asking you to do is nothing of the sort of what you're used to, what you've heard of my adventures. But in return for your aid, I will provide each of you a place in my memoirs and a fair share of my eternal gratitude. He takes a sip of his wine. Now, I know what you're thinking. Here we go again, Mad Baggins, taking off with the wizard Gandalf in one of your crazy adventures. Well, I can assure you that there's nothing of the sort. Just a little trip down to Mickle, sorry, my accent. And back to recover what one might call a family heirloom, the Mahone House. A map of the Shire, supposedly made by the old Took himself, with all sorts of precious annotations. Now, I've sent many letters to the custodian here, Malva Slowfoot, asking if I could have it back, because, well, it's mine. It's my family's. But she has replied none. So I thought that needn't I tell her, or her husband, after all? We're talking about something that I own. It's mine, like Bag End. And most of all, we haven't alerted the pesky pup that the Slowfoots have set to guard the place. A vicious creature, I've heard. Sharp as a tack, the beast, and he sniffs me out every time I go near. I know some of you place a little more value on local gossip than others, and even just being seen at night by somebody of my stature, the Mad Baggins, might be enough to ruin your reputation, Ophelia. But for those of you with the spirit And I know you all have that in spades. Otherwise, I wouldn't have invited you. Won't you aid me on this errand of particular importance to my family? And in turn, if you do, I'll give you a wonderful night's rest here, and you can leave after a hearty second breakfast.
I perk up at that.
Same.
You have to
Not
admit
too.
I'm a little intrigued as to why you want us to fetch a dusty old map. But I suppose that can rest for now.
You want to turn us into nothing but simple criminals?
No. Hobbits, come on. Use your spirit. Don't get caught.
Not a crime to take something that belongs to you, is it?
Correct.
Weren't you a burglar
It
in your
is-
last assignment anyway?
Treasure hunter, I believe, is what you prefer to be called. Yes, Bilbo?
Yes, of course.
So now we're all to be treasure hunters without any warning, save this.
Well, I don't think he had any warning, did he? If he could, we can. It's just
Yes.
mickle delving.
Do you not
Well,
remember
anything
the
that Bilbo
stories?
can do, I can do, obviously. But he, on the other hand, is supposed to be this great adventurer, is all he proclaims to be. He writes all these ridiculous books saying that he's such a great adventurer. So why don't you go get your own thing, Bilbo?
Wouldn't you like to prove that you're just as good, if not better, than Bilbo himself, Lobelia?
I have an
Child,
important
you just
question.
turned 33.
I have an important
Pardon?
question. What are we having for second breakfast?
Of course, I took worries about second breakfast.
Of course.
Going to begin
Well,
sliding a chair towards Lobelia. Perhaps we could take a seat if you wouldn't. We're going to be here for a minute. Clearly, Bilbo's being a little long-winded, cousin. Yes.
As always.
Now, I will say that for most of you, some breakfast you'll find when you wake up in the morning. But if you're really curious, I'll make you some good biscuits and some tea, and slap some bacon on there for you.
Rory Mac is
I
going
will
to
in.
kind of stroke his chin a bit and kind of eye Bilbo. And I'd like to make an insight check to kind of get an idea of what he might be hiding from us.
So in that case, all right, roll me a. So for anybody who's new to the One Ring RPG, we start with. Is this a favorite skill of yours or not?
It is a favorite skill of mine.
Okay, so you'll roll 2 d12s. You'll take the higher, and then how many ever pips you have on it, you'll add an extra d6 to each of those. So how many pips do you have?
I have 2.
You have 2. So for Bilbo on this, we will give it a. So your number is surprisingly an 18.
I will do so as well, James, but I'm less looking to see if there's something he's hiding and more to see if he seems concerned, if he seems to be worried about what we're going to find here, if there's any fear.
James, I also want to do it, but I have the distinct feature of being very inquisitive,
Okay.
which adds to the roll, if I'm not mistaken. It should add another die, I believe.
Sure.
Well, James, to start things off,
Yes.
Rory Mac rolled a 19.
I have a 19 as well, with an auto success.
Oh. And can you, for our audience who's here, can you explain what an auto success means?
So an auto success is when you roll either a 12 on the feat die, which is your 12-sided die, or a 6 on one of the d6s that you roll. And it has a special symbol on the actual official die. But I rolled a total of 19, 19
Yep.
with an auto success.
So for people who are at home,
Here, I have the
you
black.
have the Gandalf rune on the d12, and then Paladin showed us the 6.
Well, there's the
And if you succeed in the check and you roll a 6 on top of it, you can actually give one of those successes off to help another if they fail, and there's some other options that you can use to benefit the group. And what specifically are you looking for, Rory?
I'm trying to figure out what Bilbo might be hiding. Like, is this a treasure map, perhaps? Is this is there some grander adventure at play that we are playing into, or is this really just a man in search of an old dusty map?
You would definitely, with the 19, pick up that probably Bilbo Baggins wouldn't be just looking for an old everyday map. And the understanding of what the old Took who he was, and how much of an adventure he was, there's a potential that there could be actually other information on it that could be helpful. Ferdinand, you get no concern that this is a danger where it's at.
Good. Well, everything seems to be more or less on the up and up, so I don't see why we wouldn't aid old Bilbo. He's certainly done a great deal for all of us, keeping us entertained when we were young, and he throws the most magnificent parties.
Thank you.
As well as the most excellent
fireworks.
feast. Yes.
Well, I can't give you all the help in the fireworks. It's the wizard himself, but haven't seen him in a few years.
It's been a while.
Quite a while.
But I don't
Quite a while
see...
since I've seen you, Ferdinand.
It has. I've only recently returned from my own wanderings in the last few months. Spent some time in Rivendell, a bit of time in Minas Tirith. I was tracking down some of the most excellent healers that you told me about through your travels, and I've absorbed what I could, and I've brought it home to practice here in the Shire. As things are, the world is becoming wilder and a little less tamed. I'm trying to keep the Shire safe and well healed and well stocked.
From what I've seen, you've done a very good job.
I do my best.
Very good job indeed. It seems you have a aspiring apprentice or favored family member.
Well, yes, Orangeblossom has been doing great things, and she has that Tookish spark that makes us all so proud, and the spirit of old Bull Roarer himself, you know?
Yes.
These young hobbits, most of them don't have it anymore like we used to back in the day. And it's inspiring to see.
You know, when you go on adventures every once in a while and you look back and you miss sitting around in your hobbit hole,
yeah, absolutely.
smoking your pipe weed, and drinking your wine and eating your pastries. But there's something about an adventure that just sparks it for us all.
Well, and
you can see that he kind of closes. You can see that the book that he's been writing for months now is kind of folded out open behind him in the room that you guys are in the pantry.
Well,
you all have gotten your fill of drink and food. You're welcome to find a place in the many halls of Bag End to find a place to rest your weary heads, and we'll wake up early in the morning and I'll make a good breakfast and get you on your way after second.
Rory, Ophelia, or Lobelia rather, if this isn't something that you wish to be involved in, you know, you don't have to, but it might do you some good to venture outside your comfort zone and see what the world has to offer.
It's beyond just a comfort zone. Hobbits should not act in such a manner.
It's just going for a walk. I'm sure you go for walks.
Of course I go for walks, child, but going for a walk is different than running into all these things that Bilbo talks about, such as dragons and all this nonsense with this half-cracked wizard.
Oh,
Well, the dragon's dead.
Oh.
We're just
Dragon?
going to the Madam House. It's a glorified museum. You've been there 1,000,000 times as a child. Are you really this unconfident and
I mean,
It's just up the
craven?
road.
If it's just that, why wouldn't Bilbo just go himself? Why is he sending us
To
go?
inspire the light and
Inspire.
fervor
And you watch
for
as
life.
you all are chatting and conversing back and forth. When you turn around, Bilbo's gone.
Yeah, well,
Would I be able
Old
to
man
make
Baggins is hiding
check
something. I can tell
to
you
Oh,
that.
host. Oh, host.
What's that?
You think he's hiding some treasure from his adventures?
Well, I
I'd
think
like to
that
go
map
see
might
that.
have something to do with treasure. Treasure by the River of Zoe.
I want to go and search the place.
Oh,
See if I can find any of his
I'll come too.
treasures.
Can I make an awareness check to see if I can follow where Bilbo may have, or at least the direction he may have taken off to?
Sure.
Okay.
Having heard Bilbo's tales of, of everything he's done, because clearly he would have told us everything. I too would like to wander a little bit and see if I can find perhaps where he might display Sting.
I think Sting is actually in the Madam House.
I'm getting excited
welcome
at
to wander.
everything. I'm just like, these are probably the slippers he wore his first night going on adventure.
Oh
These
my
is
god, it's
probably-
his house coat.
It's his house coat. I bet you he wore this through the mines of Moria.
You
14
all
awareness.
wander through. You said 13?
14.
14? You have no idea. But as you wander through Bag End and the different halls, it's strange that this place just feels like it just continues. And you all find rooms, and you find more rooms and more rooms, and they're all well decorated, but they're all functional. They all have their purpose. But other than just everyday things that your minds start to wander and your imagination kicks in of, oh, this could have been used here, this could have been used there. There's no treasure found.
I found a spoon. I bet you he
Yes,
brought this on his adventure.
I tell you what, young one, I actually know for a fact. He told me one day that was one of the spoons that he found in the great hoard of the dragon Smaug.
Oh.
It's a priceless treasure, to be sure.
And I'm holding it in my hand.
James, I rolled awareness to try and find that sword, and I rolled a 6, 2 4s, and a Gandalf root.
So sadly, you know exactly where it's at. It's not here.
Wow.
A lot of his actual adventuring things he took with him and gave them back to the Madam House as museum items before we find out later on that he hands it off to Bilbo, or not Bilbo, to Frodo. So
Including his mithril shirt.
yes, which is also at the Madam House.
It is.
Though hobbits have no idea what the value or use of mithril is. So
Well,
it's
if
just a really pretty shirt.
those of us that are maybe a little more accustomed to the halls of this home, if you'd like to gather in the front room here, we could probably get a fire going. I'm sure he's got something we can rustle up here, and maybe we can have a few games of riddles before we turn in for the evening, if anybody's not opposed.
Sure.
Always down for a good riddle.
Just gonna produce a pipe out of seemingly nowhere and wander towards his front hall with the fireplace and just see what I can get going.
So it's strange. Any place you go that has a fireplace, the fire is burning, is booming.
Sorry,
It's cooking, he's good.
Apparently, they all work on switches in Hobbiton.
Nice.
They're motion sensors.
That's right.
Oh,
Elven runes on the floor in order to light the fire every time.
seeing as Bilbo doesn't normally have guests, I'm gonna look around. Ferdinand, would you mind helping me grab maybe a chair or two from maybe over here in the kitchen area?
There are sofas and armchairs in this very room. Perhaps we should just use those.
Stay in the parlor.
I spill things on Bilbo's furniture.
I'm fine sitting on the floor. Don't bother
Oh,
yourselves
absolutely
about
not.
me.
Please, you sit on the comfortable part. You see him look down a little bit at his midsection and kind of absent-mindedly begin stroking this more recent potbelly that he seems to have obtained. I wouldn't want to damage any of the furniture in here. But I'll see what I can find. Does anybody want anything as I go? And I'd start kind of like stepping towards the kitchen area.
A
Anyone?
ham and some chicken and maybe
perhaps
some
bread, please.
bread with some jam.
Just
And
toss
some
me
tea.
a small log from the fire. I'll do a bit of whittling.
A nice hard
That's hard to
cheese
do.
sounds nice.
See what I can
Brownies,
What?
Whatever
apples,
item.
and
All right. I'm
Oh, you
gonna,
just
wander
made
through the
food
door.
items.
Paladin's got a whole grocery list of things he's looking for.
You hear rustling and like things falling on the floor, large pans, like just moving around, gathering supplies. Was apparently going grocery shopping in Bilbo's pantry. Not the first time.
You'll
that happened.
find some extra food to eat for the evening, before you bed down, and you all sit around and sip tea and enjoy your evening. Is there anything else you'd like to do before everybody finds their room to rest?
You mentioned riddles earlier. Do you have a riddle, or were you more interested in hearing one?
I have a couple. Nothing entirely challenging, but
Maybe we could have a riddle game.
perhaps, yes.
I've got a good one for you. What goes in hard and comes out soft?
I am just nervously, immediately staring at Orangeblossom. I don't know.
A good pasta, you dolt.
Oh, okay. So I have a few. If we would like to pass the time a little bit, I suppose.
Sure, whatever you would like.
All right. So let's start easy. Let's gauge here. Let's see. I'm tall when I'm young, but I'm short when I'm old. What am I?
A candle.
Ah, yes. We have to start simple.
Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's most marvelous, most droll. What?
Why did you keep that one? I'm gonna put that right in the back pocket.
Only it took. Only it took.
All right, I've got a good one. I'm invisible to the naked eye. When you put me in something, it weighs less. What am I?
Hole.
Oh,
See, the little one gets it.
yes, it's a
Sharper than he looks.
Yeah, I told you, you need people of intelligence in this sort of mission.
How about this one?
Quest.
1,000
Thing.
blades, yet no sharp edges. They stand in waves, but the wind will blow.
Oh,
Am I?
Grass.
It's
Yeah.
grass. Very good, Orangeblossom. Very good indeed. You probably heard that one from your old mom. Father used to tell us those around the fire, you see.
Let's see. What has words but never speaks?
A book.
Yes. I fear that we've been telling riddles in the same circles for too long. I'm not certain this is going to be much fun.
I have one for you.
Oh, yes.
Oh, come
please.
on then, Orangeblossom.
It belongs to you, but other people use it more than you.
Your name.
Oh, drat. You already
All
heard
right.
that one too.
This one's a little different, but we'll give it a shot. You see, the Mad King, he had his soldiers dig a hole. This hole was 6 feet wide, 5 feet long, and 13 feet deep. How much dirt is left in the hole?
There's no dirt in the hole. It's a bloody hole.
It's absolutely correct. Very good, Rory. Your parents must be proud of you.
Well,
All right, maybe one more.
Brandy book.
Bit of a silly one to finish off, for at least myself. What has a bottom at the top?
Nobelia's boobs.
I knew I caught you staring, Ferdinand. Keep your eyes to yourself, you old pervert.
I'm afraid you have a medical condition, my dear. Something is very wrong with you.
Going to
Why
say
didn't you
your
come
legs,
check them
but,
then,
I like that
Mr.
answer better.
Doctor?
I get paid overtime for that, young lady. Now speak to your elders with more respect.
I would if I found someone to give respect to.
I see.
What was the answer to that one, old one?
Legs. They have a bottom at the top. It's not that fun.
See?
But
Good one. I like it.
I don't know. I kind of like his answer. I'm going to keep that one as well.
Yes, because they're all upside down and weird, you see.
Oh. Maybe we should go to bed. Lobelia, let's go find you a nice comfortable room on the opposite end of the house from Ferdinand.
Thank you. At least there's
You
one
all,
proper
you
hobbit
all
here.
wander the halls before each of you find a pillow to rest your head on, and the evening ends after a warm and insightful night of riddles. The day rises, and Bilbo's up, running around, gathering things and preparing breakfast. Each of you start to stir as clanging and clamping comes down from pots and pans and cups and oh shoot, gosh darn it, oh, and he runs off again and grabs three more eggs that fell on the ground, cracks those open and starts making eggs for everyone. You all hop out of your doors with all noises going on.
Yes.
He apologizes, of course, and continues to cook, and you can smell the bacon and you can smell the eggs.
All right, Bilbo.
Breakfast will be done in just a moment. Just a
After
moment.
a long night's sleep, I'm a bit more amicable to this little adventure of yours.
That's great to hear, because we'll get you off here very soon. Very soon.
And he walks up to Bilbo and kind of quietly is like, I know you're up to something, old Baggins. We'll see where it leads to. Just know Brandybuck doesn't forget when he's owed a favor.
Oops. I've known your family for many years.
Bilbo, have I left? Is my old rucksack here? Is it still in the guest room? Can I go grab that, please? I have a few odds and ends in there that might be useful on the trip.
Goodness, I don't even know. You've left that here years ago. But I'm sure if you go down the hall, it's the 16th room on your left.
Yes. You all go ahead and start breakfast without me. I'll be back momentarily.
Before Lobelia wakes up, could I sneak into her room and just start stuffing like pillows and stuff under the blanket so it looks like she's not alone when she wakes up?
Of course you can try. Can you please roll me a stealth check?
And are you favored in that? Hobbits are favored in that, right?
Yes, I am.
And for Lobelia, that would be your wits TN.
12.
You're gonna beat a 12.
I'm totally doing that too.
So I'm trying to beat my wits target number, right?
You're trying to beat her wits target number.
Her wits target number. Okay, I rolled a 16.
So yeah, you shuffle your way in and very quietly stuff a few pillows to line the left side of Lobelia, and you hear her. She starts snoring a little bit.
I want to put one over her side just a little so it's like she's being cuddled and then just dart out.
While she's doing that, I'm going to put one of the house coats there as well and just take another pair of slippers and just set it up beside hers.
All right, roll me your stealth check.
Okay. Yeah.
But pretty much you will see each of, like, one of you will dart in and you'll set up the pillows, and as you're darting out, you watch Paladin dart in behind you.
Get wrecked, Lobelia.
Okay, that is a 17.
Yep, you as well. You add the coat and the slippers, and you've got a pretty good pillow person going there for a moment. So, about 10 or so minutes.
Children
go
are
by,
bold.
and the rest of you
sleep with clothes on. You might not have.
As the rest of you are sitting in the breakfast nook, you can see Orangeblossom and Paladin come back with a sticker and waiting on Lobelia. Lobelia, as you wake up, you are cuddled by a pillow person, but you don't know it's a pillow person.
Although not in the house of Bilbo, just move to your side. The Baggins or children? It's hard to assume. Probably Baggins.
Give me a scan check.
Scan check.
Yep. And then your PN is what, Orangeblossom?
What was that?
Your wits.
Oh, the target number?
Yep.
15.
15.
15 exactly.
I will say you just miss that when you sit down, the long curly hair of Orangeblossom just kind of brushes underneath your foot, but you don't seem to notice it.
Probably Baggins. Have it. Of course he was. She gets up and she just huffs and walks out. Baggins!
Yes?
I knew it was you.
He looks very confused. That asked for the adventure, yes, of course.
No. You know what I'm talking about. I know it was you.
Lobelia,
We'll discuss this later.
He turns literally to everyone else. He's, it's really a horrible thing that when somebody tries to steal your own property, and then when they come into your house, very politely, they insist that you're doing something wrong when you've given them both a place to stay and a good breakfast and supper of last night, if I'm not mistaken.
Politely, with your shady dealings, your vague answers. No one believes you, Baggins. No one believes you.
I do.
believe.
Believes what? What are we talking about? What did Lobelia
You're
do?
young and you don't know, you're inexperienced. You would never dealt with this type of menacing, vile, non-hobbit.
Lobelia, you're barely more than a child yourself. Please stop your
Perhaps we could
ceaseless.
stop just broad stroking
chattering.
this Baggins business.
Good Lord,
I'm not really
you're
sure.
in his home.
sounds like
It's
someone
not really his home. He's not the rightful owner.
Happy everybody just vanished, Austin, in the image.
Loading head.
I don't know. I'm getting slowly. I don't know. Stealth isn't really my strong suit, but apparently when I sit really still, I get better at it.
They're slowly turning invisible.
Yeah,
Now then,
slowly. There you go.
let me see what I have in my old bag here. And I'll start rummaging around, and I'll pull out my old leather circlet thing, my little leather armor, and a big cloak to cover it, and I'll pull out this really beautiful elven made bow that's way too small to be an elven bow. And then do you all prefer a weapon or something? Maybe I have something kicking around in here that you might prefer.
Bow is beautiful.
Even Bilbo turns for a moment. I told you we're literally going to Fathom House. Why are you trying to threaten these weapons?
Bilbo, you know as well as I do that sometimes the appearance of being able to be a threat You have to appear dangerous, or you might have to be dangerous. And I'm going to cover it all, just in case. Or at least, Orangeblossom, come here. At least I'm going to give you something. You're old enough now. What sort of, do you prefer a bow? Or...
Oh, short swords, actually.
Ah, yes. Well, I have a spare one, and I carry a short sword myself from time to time, though it's not very useful. Here, and I'll reach in the bag and just shitty old short sword, just like hand it to her. There you go. Right. Well,
Please,
the rest.
I really do ask that you do not use those while you're
Oh,
here.
no.
We're
That
trying to be
reminds me.
quiet.
Master Baggins, is it true, the rumor that I've heard, that you have fought off 12,000 goblins all by yourself with the sword found in the armory of the High King of Gondolin?
You know, that's been a little bit of a exaggeration. Now, I will say that I did fight off goblins, and I did have a sword that was found at the High King of Gondolin, but 12,000 is a little bit much. Not to mention I had a lot of help. The dwarves were fantastic for help.
And I heard the dwarves could throw big boulders the size of trolls. Is that true?
The size of trolls.
Mhm.
He gets his eyes are all big, and he's very excited about it. He starts to reminisce about old times.
Yes, and if I remember correctly, Bilbo, isn't this the very set of dishes that the dwarves dined on when they met you that first evening?
Oh, those were many years ago. Yes, exactly. These are the same dishes that I pulled out just yesterday.
And who ate with the
Because-
spoon? Was this?
Oh, for the love of... Well, enough,
Well,
enough
there's a good
of
possibility.
of this nonsense. People,
Yeah,
what
you've
is
always
it
been
you
a-
want? Where are we
always been an
going? Let us
unbeliever.
go. Unbelievable.
Amelia, why are you so miserable?
Because, you know what? I've been here, I've tried to be cordial, and all I get is nonsense in return. So, I would like to just be on my way. Let us go.
I noticed that these
Would be a
knives are a
horrible
little
host if
blunt.
if I put you on your way before second breakfast.
I mean,
What I
this
don't?
is what you were talking about, Bilbo. You are a horrible host.
That's quite rude.
Excuse me.
Dude, he snuck into my room last night.
What?
I did nothing of the sort.
I'm just like
Lies.
stuffing my
It is-
face full of bacon at this point.
I'm
Yes,
going to look at Orangeblossom because she is my niece. I'm going to see if she looks weird.
You know, I would say to roll something, but you two are family. You would know that she has a mischievous side to her.
Amelia, what are you saying that someone has done? How do you know that someone snuck into your room last night? What is all this nonsense about?
This nonsense is about this improper hospitality that I've received since I've stepped in here. And last night, someone snuck into my room, moved the pillows around, and rearranged them in some unfashionable organization.
Are you saying that it's been inhospitable because you woke up and the pillows weren't where you left them?
Who
Is that
enters
right?
someone's privacy like that, unannounced and with no consent? That is inhospitable.
Sure, you didn't just move the pillows in your sleep, you crazy old bat.
Now I'm old. First I'm young, now I'm old. You have dementia, don't you, old man? Listen,
You'd be old for a
First of all-
bat, for sure.
I am a lady. Secondly, I have been putting up with enough of nonsense that's going to be going on here, and I refuse for it anymore.
Then why don't you go home, Lobelia? Let the
Then
rest
I
of us go on this
Yes.
lovely adventure.
Rory's not happy
Great
about this.
rewards.
Rory's not happy about this, but at least he's not being a brat about the whole thing.
A brat, am I?
Yes.
Lobelia,
this
when
is-
was the last time you've had maybe a little knock? Maybe we should do some brandy this morning. Ferdinand, no. We are talking about maybe a drink to stabilize the nerves, and you need to relax.
What are you
now,
talking about?
While this is happening, I'm like grabbing one of each food and eating one, but then putting one in my rucksack, and then eating one and then putting one in my rucksack just to make sure
you should wrap those.
Rory is fiddling about
Heaven.
inside the utensils drawer and pulls out 2 reasonably sized knives and walks.
Oh
No.
no!
Oh no!
no.
Rory's having another one of his fits.
Apparently he
I'll
grabbed the
tend to it.
knives.
Dragon's
Rory's knives cut his service.
Oh, he's okay now. He just needed a bit of smelling salts. He's back now. Look, he's fine. Sorry, Rory, you had a bit of a fit there, and we lost
An
you for a
episode there.
Rory fumbles about through the utensils drawer and pulls out 2 reasonably sized knives. Walks over to Paladin and says, "All right, little one, shove this somewhere you won't get cut. It's a famous dwarven dragon-killing knife."
Oh, really? I will treasure this with my life.
Just gonna write Dwarven on everything.
And he
we
walks
find
over
on
to
the trip.
Lobelia and says, "All right, you can take this and do something with it, or you can shut the hell up. I don't really care." And tosses it, kind of drops it in her lap and just walks away.
Of course, a brandy buck would say that. She takes the knife and she just kind of tucks it in her waistcoat.
Now, you are not just a brandy buck; you are the brandy buck that will be taking over Buckland.
Indeed.
Are you not?
Indeed.
And you have a
Fine job he's
wonderful,
doing as well.
wonderful place down there in Buckland. Haven't
I
been
know.
there in a few months, but it's a beautiful
Oh,
place. Last time I
You should come visit. Maybe you won't as hastily request me to leave next time. However, we are here for now. I did want to. Ferdinand, is that bow still in the bag? I promise
no.
not to be too hasty with
No, that's on my back. I'm sorry. That one's mine.
it. Ah, fair. It's fine. Fantastic craftsmanship.
It is. It's
beautiful.
very keen. I was given it as a
wonderful.
reward for my adventures, you see.
Don't worry,
Oh.
old man. We can get you a sack of rocks to chuck or something, I'm sure.
I prefer the bow because just about anything else might as well be a stick. But,
You know, I might have. Hang on, just 1 second.
Oh, if you're having issues and you really do need some extra things, you're welcome to go third, fourth door on the right.
we did it. You have rooms. Just point me in the direction.
Look, I have. Look here. Look, I have my old one. The elves gave me this one, and I had one for my hunting. It's just a hunting bow. It'll do the job.
Fantastic. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Here's a few arrows. Yes.
We'll be back in 3 hours by the
Shoot
time that
her
I
with
find
the
wherever
pointy.
Bilbo said one of his rooms down the hall. Is there anything I shouldn't find when going back there? I don't want to stumble upon any business.
You met elves. Is it true they're 8 feet tall and glow all the time, even in the dark?
Yes. Indeed, for sure. But that's only.
Getting no information from.
I was there.
They're told.
I went to Rivendell. I lived there for some time, some years. Yes.
And they're 8 feet tall and they glow in the dark.
Well, most of them are 8 feet tall, but Lord Elrond himself, he was pushing 12, if I'm honest. And if you looked at him for too long, your hair starts to turn gray.
12 feet tall.
That's right, as far as you know.
What a man.
As far as you know.
That sounds like a bunch of
Oh,
nonsense.
goodness.
You're welcome, Ferdinand, to either roll a persuade or a riddle if you want to try to trick Lobelia into believing that.
I'm real good at riddle, and I'm
Can I
favored in
roll?
it too.
No, what is your TN for wits?
12.
James,
I
have a.
He
A
vanishes.
24 with 2 6s.
Your
Get wrecked, Lobelia.
you immediately kind of spin the tale around in different ways to try to convince. You might not have convinced Lobelia, but there is now doubt in her own thought that well,
Yeah.
maybe they are because I've
And
never seen one.
I want to use one of those successes to like give Bilbo a look to get him to start helping me, helping me just
Oh yes, the one.
bullshit.
You know, the funny thing is it's not really the elves from Rivendell that you have to worry about. It's the ones before you get to the Lonely Mountain.
Yes.
Those elves are tricksy.
Yes.
Tricksy elves.
Those tricksy.
Those are the ones you worry about. The ones in Elrond are fine. Wonderful.
You know, and Ferdinand said it.
Orangeblossom.
Maybe, perhaps, but now, Bilbo,
Orangeblossom, would you be a dear and run to the pantry and grab me a fresh satchel of tobacco, please?
Certainly. I'll be right back.
All right. Bye, Orangeblossom. You see the power I yield, Lobelia? I made her disappear. She'll be back, though.
Prophet.
Ferdinand, it's like every mile that you traveled made you gain 1 more ounce of hot air. Gee, oh. All right.
Paladin Took is just eating it up. He believes totally,
absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, you've got the
correcting any of
eyes
it, though.
this big, and you're super excited. And you look at it, and as you're sitting there eating and drinking and having some merriment and waiting for Orangeblossom to return, he starts to kind of go into a bit of a storytelling. He starts to talk about the times with the elves to get a little bit more connected to Ferdinand's farce, and also the dwarves that he met, and talks a little bit about Gandalf because he's enjoying the wide-eyed, inspirational look of Paladin. And you're eating it up. You're having a field day with this.
Is
And
it
he
true
does it all
the
the way-
Eagles rescued you from a pack of orcs, but then they left you on top of a mountain instead of taking you all the way to Erebor?
Yes, they dropped us right off. But, you know, it's already time. It's already time to get you guys on your way. And you haven't even had second breakfast yet. We've been sitting here talking for hours. Wonderful time. I haven't had people over like this in a long time. But it would be wrong if I didn't keep you going. So let me get you some food and get you on your way. And he runs off to grab what is more so like a modified deluxe trail mix. And like dried bacons and some of these very crisp pastries and a couple other things that he could hand off to each of you. Now, if you don't mind, it's going to take you a bit of time to get down there, so let's get you on your way so you don't get stuck late at night.
Yes, that's a good plan. Now, did you have a set of instructions you wanted us to follow? Which route would you like us to go, Bilbo? Can we just go the normal way?
Well, no, I would most likely suggest you pop off over the river over there, heading west, and stop down in Waymeet. Have a quick drink there. There's some great ale there, and then take the road down to Mickle Delving. I believe that'll probably be your easiest.
Yes. Right. Well, now that Orangeblossom has returned with my tobacco, we can set off, I suppose. Does anyone else need anything? We all good?
Right as rain and ready to go.
Come back from whatever room I was back there. Found a couple of a few old small weapons, maybe a couple swords, perhaps, and I found some tobacco back there, but it wasn't wrapped quite the way I would like, so it's probably not that good. But if you don't mind, I'll take it and sift through, see what we can find along the way.
Let me see one of them swords.
Ah, here you go. Hand it over.
A little dinged up, was serviceable.
Gather your things and head off out the door, and Bilbo sits there with a twinkle in his eye and a smile on his face and gives you a wave as you head off down Bag End, down the hill of the Shire and off to the river. It's a nice calm walk.
This is so exciting.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's not every day you get to walk through nickel delving and get an old map.
My first proper adventure.
As you get close to the water, you can see that it has gained some current. Seems that the rains the days before have made it a little more difficult to cross. And it'll take some ingenuity and craft.
Yes,
It
this
seems like we're
If
probably
you fall
just
near the
stuck here
mer
now.
people will eat you.
Nope. How are we planning on getting across the water here?
I think we need a right proper bunch of barrels. That's how Mr. Bilbo Baggins did it.
it's
Oh,
a great
sir.
plan, Paladin, but we don't have any barrels, unfortunately. Maybe there's something.
I'm still looking around anyway.
Yes. Take a look around and see what you can find, young Paladin.
Can
Can
you
any
roll
of you?
a scan check for Paladin?
Oh, okay. I have nothing to scan.
Oh dear.
Can I make an awareness check to look for like something nearby?
That'd be a scan check as well.
Okay.
So if we have nothing in it, is it just a D6 or is it one of the D12s?
If you
It's
have
a
nothing in
D12.
it, it's just the D12.
Okay.
You have to roll.
I got a Gandalf and a 2.
I got, if I
14?
carry the 2, the 1.
What did you get, Paladin?
Oh, I got like 6.
Okay. So Paladin and Drogo, you both were looking around, and it seems neither of you could really locate what you're looking for. And Rory, you notice across the river is a large log that, if you come up with maybe a way to get the log into the river, it would probably hold a hobbit. Maybe not a full-blown human, but it could hold hobbit.
Oh dear Lord.
There's a bit of a log over there. Might be able to wedge it in the river. Use it as a bridge.
Right. It is on the other side of the river, is the thing.
We have a bow.
Yes, I do have a bow. Does anyone have perhaps some rope or string or something? Let me see.
Oh, we'll just shove Drogo in the river. He can go get it.
Can you swim, Drogo?
That's not gonna happen. Nope. Nope. Slowly taking steps away from the water.
Well, hang on a minute.
You all right, Drogo?
Orangeblossom.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a beautiful day.
So as you're trying to figure this out, there's two ways you could do this. You could either use a rope and a hook the shooting the bow over to kind of connect into the log and pull it forward towards you, or you could try to swim across the water. Or if you have another idea, you could also try to gather it in another way.
Well, hang on.
Paladin, being enthusiastic and sprightly as he is and wanting to impress all of these very, experienced adventurers, it's like, I got it. And he runs and he's going to try to jump across the river.
No, don't. Oh, no.
Dear Lord. Dear Lord. I hope he can swim.
And there he goes.
Give me an athletics check.
Tell you, we hobbits, known athletes we are.
That is a 5.
Gone well.
Cousin.
Splash! As he hits the water, you see the water splash out almost like a cannonball, and then slowly but surely he pulls himself, with some of your help, back up against on this side of the river again, just drenched from head to toe.
Well, wait here. I've got a bit of old rope. Let me see if I can just. Here, I'll tie the rope to one of my arrows, and I'll pull back and take aim and try and shoot into this log that Rory Mac has pointed out.
Give me a bow.
Okay. 27 with a Gandalf rune on my D12.
Nice.
What?
Nice.
Nice.
The log
And
is
for
split in
our
half.
audience, how many pips did you have in that?
More than 2, less than 1 million. I have 3 pips in bows, and as one of my hobbit favors, I have taken sure shot. So I always roll ranged attack with favor, which means I get to roll 2d12s instead of 1, which is good because the other one was only a 5.
27.
Orangeblossom is beaming with
Easily,
pride.
you watch as Ferdinand pulls back the bow and loose, and it flies across the water, the rope right into the log, and with a quick tug, the log pulls into the water.
I need some help. Paladin, could you help me pull this in? And I'll like pretend that I'm struggling and let Paladin like.
I'm beaming that I'm helping.
Aww.
As you help pull the log over, it makes it easier for each of you to kind of just get across without being soaked. Paladin still dripping wet and even feeling like some of his pockets might have leftover water in them. But
I immediately afterwards check my rucksack to see if my food, which is likely all drenched,
yeah,
just make sure it's okay. And when I pull out my soggy biscuits, I'm like, it's okay.
Ooh,
by
Paladin.
you use your log to get across the water.
Paladin, I have a treat for you, my friend, my young friend. You see, and I'll dig around in my rucksack and I'll say, I'll pull out a moldy, rusty old piece of bread. This was given to me by the elves. This is limbus bread. Yes, it's the most famous of elven traveling foods, and it gives you a full day's meal with just a bite. Would you care for a piece?
Oh, I
Yes.
would love it.
This is just some old cram. This is just old hardtack that
I'm
Paladin
taking it. I'm
had.
like, authentic.
It is. You can taste the elf.
It tastes
Yes,
moldy,
either
but
give,
good.
I guess, either a riddle or a persuade.
Okay. I'm good at both.
Can I do an anti-persuade? Dude's about to eat some mold.
That's where penicillin comes from.
Paladin, the elves are made of mold. You know that, right?
Yes.
Why they glow
That
in the
is
dark?
a 13. Really.
And what is your TN for wits?
Oh wait, I am favored though. 1 second. That's better. That's it. That takes it from a 5 to a 10. So we're at like 17 now.
Okay, yeah, that passes. I'm at 14 wits.
So yeah, Ferdinand convinces you that the hardtack is literally limbus bread from the elves. And though
not
it's
really
not,
enjoying the taste, but thinking that it's authentic limbus bread and not wanting to be rude, I'm like, and I'm eating the whole thing. I'm like,
Oh no! Don't eat the whole thing, my
Authentic.
boy. Your stomach will explode. Only a nibble or two, and that will do you through the day. Then I'll take it back.
thank you.
Finish it off with this. This is special. This is some of Buckland's finest, and I'm gonna pull out small flask, and just like, but yeah, you should definitely wash it down with this.
I take it.
And then just like make eye contact with Roy Mac.
I got a a 13 on my healing check to make sure Paladin's not dying from mold toxicity.
Oh, yeah, no, this. Ferdinand
I'm
would have
dry
not
heaving
actually
it just a
fed
little bit,
him-
like-
No, I didn't feed him. It's just
I
shitty
would
old
have made
bread.
sure that if he's feeding him something, it might have been a little molded, but it's not going to kill him.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Maybe an upset stomach later on. But as you
Fine.
venture down towards Waymeet, and you arrive in the small town, you are able to head into the tavern there. The Walking Party Inn.
Ah, a beautiful little inn.
Bilbo had mentioned that you most likely would have to rest here and before your trip, as it's taken you a few hours to get across the water, and then another couple hours to get down to Waymeet. Because though hobbits are quick, they like to stop. And, stopping for 11sies and afternoon tea, and just before dinner, you finally arrive in Waymeet. And the sun is starting to droop.
Well, it's time for a good dinner and a bit of a lie down, I suppose. Yes? Are you folks ready?
It's welcome to come to bed.
Everyone said something at once. I'm sorry, I didn't understand a word any of you said.
We most welcome.
Yes, indeed. Paladin, perhaps you would like to fulfill the mighty role of getting us a room, procuring our quarters for the night, like a true adventurer.
Indeed. I'd be honored. And he goes and checks in with the innkeeper.
Locals here are polite, though their curiosity has definitely sparked as a very large crowd of hobbits, so diverse and far from their homes, have appeared here in Waymeet. So to avoid, as you're trying to gain rooms, any sort of interest of the locals, I need you to roll me a riddle check.
All of us?
No, it'd be Paladin, because he's the one that's trying to find a room.
You got this, Paladin.
I'm probably bright-eyed and getting distracted by everything. Not too bad. That actually hits my wits.
Hey.
So I'm mostly distracted. It only takes me 2 hours, but I do eventually come back with the information about the.
But what brings you here to the inn? How can I help you, young sir?
Well, we need some rooms. You see, we got a bunch of adventurers, proper adventurers here.
No, indeed. No, adventurers. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
No, Orangeblossom. Here, do something. Distract them.
Rory Mac will step up. We're here on official Brandy Book business. Don't worry about it. Taking the little ones out on a little adventure. You know how it is with the long ones.
And on that note, does anyone want to try a little game of riddles? I feel like we have several individuals within this party that might be able to wager a few drinks amongst the crowd. Maybe if we just gather over here away from the counter, more this direction. What do you say? And I'm just gonna kind of glance. Ferdinand?
Well, you said you were adventurers.
Struggle, we have to get a room.
As he says that, I pull out my dagger. I'm like, see, I got a nice shiny dagger.
Paladin. Put that butter knife away.
Where would you say you're from, little one?
No, Paladin. No, Paladin. It's enough of your silly make-believe. It is time to grow up and acknowledge that you're never going on an adventure.
I even ate some nice, Roy authentic lamba spread.
We're just on a bit of a walkabout, honestly. It's fine.
All right.
This is your fault, Ferdinand. This is your fault. You sent that one up there.
Don't mind the little one.
Oh my God.
Whoever's trying to pull Paladin away from just giving out the entire story, I need you to roll me a persuade check to convince the innkeeper that you are not actually adventurers. And
I'm going to yank Paladin back with my umbrella, the hook of it, because my umbrella adds to my persuade.
Rory Mac, are you trying to pull the I'm a Brandy Butt card?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to pull here. We're on official Brandy Book business. Don't mind it. We brought the little ones along so we can see what the business is like. They think they're going on a grand adventure. We're just heading downtown to pick up a few things.
So I need to persuade for both Rory.
I passed my wits, but I have also an additional success.
Okay.
I rolled a 20 with over, so I got a 20.
The
so
evil
yeah.
eye is
I got
a
a
failure,
23
right?
with an additional success.
No matter what.
And yeah, so you could use your one additional success to kind of pull Paladin from
Yeah, I'm yanking him back.
mess he's making you right now.
He is not. He's not in his right mind right now. Just let the young boy be.
With your tug, I like the knife
Put my
kind
hand
of
over his mouth.
flips around and I drop the knife onto the.
Drogo.
So you're
up
saying you're
Harpoon.
from you're heading down to Buckland.
Aye, on our way back.
All right. So your friend there, the little one said that you were looking for rooms. Now I would be honest, I hate to tell you this, but we are full.
Oh, that's unfortunate to hear.
We've had a
Take
large
business
group
elsewhere, but you
of.
know where we could crash up for the night.
Oh, I mean, normally I would offer rooms to such adventurous people, but however, a large group of pipeweed merchants down from Longbottom stopped in, and we're full.
Aye.
Now, that man sitting over there, local name goes by Baldo Brunts. He could potentially have a spare room for you in his stables. It's not a lot, but it'll get you out of the elements. And stables, though, a lot of people have a bad feel for them. Normally, you stay quite warm.
Ah, yes, I've heard of the Hobbiton B&B system. We can go talk to this individual and.
Rorimac, can I have just a moment? We don't know this man. He wants us to go over and say, "Hey, Baldo." That's a bald man. Are we sure that this isn't some sort of elaborate prank to get us to go over there and call this poor innocent man Baldo?
If I do it politely, we might be forgiven.
Also,
I got a 14 on insight to see if we're getting fucked with.
Hey, you Baldo!
So, with an insight, you would know that he gave you the last name too, so you would expect that Baldo is actually his real first name.
Stop saying Baldo!
Right. So Baldo Baldine, like that just because we got a last name doesn't mean it's correct.
No.
His last name is Bunce. That's not much better. Baldo Bunce. You see,
I don't want to go talk to the bald Bunsen burner in the corner. All right,
In some parts of the world, Bunce is a word for head. So you've told me to call this man Baldo Bunce, which is damn near bald head. I'm not a fan.
I would have.
Rory's gonna walk over to the Baldo.
Yes.
To the Baldo.
The man's he's sitting at a table about 10 feet away from you, and he is a kind of a bit heftier hobbit, though that doesn't mean much. He's got his hair actually comes all the way into the back and it's into a ponytail. He has hair. He has a nice little goatee on him, and he's just sitting there sipping on whatever ale he's gotten for the evening.
May I use a courtesy check as we approach and speak to this gentleman?
Sure.
In an attempt to create a good first impression, because like if everybody goes missing at your Airbnb, nobody's gonna come back. So if we get to be the group that leaves, that's the goal. Okay, so I'm favored in courtesy, and I have 3 pips. So that's 2 of the D12 and then 3D6.
Okay. Really hope you roll bad, and your punishment is you have to go up and say, "Hey, you Baldo."
So if you're favored, it's kind of like advantage. You roll a 2d12 and take the higher one.
Take the higher, okay.
And then every pip is an extra d6 to roll, and your TN is 15.
Also, Austin, you were asking earlier, if you roll an Eye of Sauron, it's not an auto fail unless you're weary, which we're not weary yet.
Okay.
Right.
23, no symbols.
Woo!
Wow. You had no issues getting with your courtesy. You walk over very politely. Yes.
Pardon me, good sir.
Can I help you?
Yes, we were told that you may have a place for us to sleep, a rather comfortable place. We were supposed to take refuge here within the inn, but it appears that these fabulous pipe salesmen, or pipe weed salesmen rather, have seemed to have taken up most of the space. We were given your name as a possibility of somewhere safe to sleep nearby.
I do have a stable that I can let you have a place to stay with if you'd like to.
That would be incredible. When was the last time the stables were cleaned?
Earlier this morning.
Ah, of course. Hardworking folk.
A stable for somebody if it wasn't for that type of thing. However,
Okay.
if I'm going to do this for you, I have a favor to ask you in return.
Adventure.
Potentially. Simmer down, Paladin. Potentially. Let's see. What favor would you have? Absolutely. I mean, I understand a little give and take. Yes.
So my mule, Gertrude, she's been getting scared off by the owl, and if you can scare the owl away, then I can let you stay there.
Baldo, what? Baldo,
Sure.
you seem to be a little freaked out here. Why don't you take a puff of old Toby and see if that makes you calm down just a bit there, Baldo?
What kind of owl are we talking about here? Is it just a normal barn pigeon, or do we have some sort of screeching behemoth and it scares a whole dog? Like what? What is it? Just a normal barn owl?
It is, but it won't go away.
Have you? You know what? I think I am comfortable agreeing to that. Is that the cost of our room for the evening?
Just to fight an owl.
I will throw hands
no,
with
you
the
don't.
pigeon if I get to sleep.
Baldo, are you okay? You want us to fight an owl? Is that what you're asking?
No.
The
I
weirdest
don't
thing
want
I've
you
been
to
asked
fight.
today, and that's a big deal.
I don't want to fight an owl. I just want you to scare it away.
All
All right, we'll take care of your damnable
You
owl.
want to
No
scare me
worries.
an owl?
Point me in the direction of the
Just throw a
barn.
rock.
Yeah, let's go.
Don't
Do you have something
throw
sturdy
a
enough
rock.
to hold Lobelia's brazier, or do we need to bring something from outside?
Yes, they're quite saggy. I think her brazier is broken.
Why are you all staring? You're all that.
Because you look
supposed to be
diseased, Lobelia. You look diseased. There's something wrong with you.
diseased, but your eyes keep trailing back here, Ferdinand. I'm watching you.
I'm a doctor, woman. I have to look at these sorts of things.
I'm a doctor, Jim.
Right. Did you get any food here while you were here, or is this something
I
you
have
were?
not. No. We. How far away are you? Is this like? Can we carry the food over with us, or should we eat
About
here
a
first?
quarter mile south of here.
How much have
Okay.
you had to drink this evening?
A bit.
Ah, okay.
Baldo, please, here, have some of this pipeweed and simmer down.
Will
Jesus.
you stop? All right.
He takes
Is
the
there
he takes the
food
pipe and
available in your house,
takes
or
a
should
big
we eat?
drag.
Well, let's get going. I'm tired. Let's get this damn doll out
Yes,
the
I know
barn.
I understand that you've offered the stables. How available is your bedroom? Because there's a bed in there, I'm assuming.
Whoa. Whoa.
I'm gonna remove him from the room. I just want the bed. I
I don't think that's part of the problem.
do you have an owl in there too? Because we're fixing all the other ones. All right, come on, we can head that direction.
Also, Paladin, Orangeblossom, quick word.
Yes.
Part of being on an adventure is no one else knowing that you're on the adventure. You see, it's a joke that you're playing on everyone else who's not on the adventure. So,
I said it was a walkabout.
I know, but you're very young too, and I
I
didn't
don't
want
think so.
Paladin to feel like I was picking on you see. Now you brought attention to it and you've made it awkward.
No
So,
apologies.
That's on you. But Paladin,
Yes, okay.
Paladin, seriously, that's a good way to end
Secret.
up with a knife between your ribs if everyone knows what business you're about. Yes?
And I pull a knife from like
No,
one of my
no,
cages
no,
and like
no.
give me a knife.
No, like stabbing you, killy, die, that sort of thing. You know.
And I put the knife back
That's,
between my
that's
ribs.
an official
Also-
doctor
Wait, wait,
term.
Also, please
Killing
never
can be
pull a
bad.
knife in public again. That's sort of a faux pas. We don't
Brandishing
do that.
weapons in a public place is frowned upon.
You
Dear
find
Lord.
I'm taking a notebook that you didn't see before. I'm like, oh, very
You
good
should write that
advice.
down.
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
We do not need
Secret
notebooks.
mission.
Two different consecutive adventures. It did not turn out well last time.
Notebook just says John on the cover.
Right.
Okay.
And you watch as
streams are crossing.
before Baldo walks
Scrap
out,
papers
he
I pulled
actually-
out from Bilbo's place.
He actually walks up to the inn and purchases a few sets of blankets and a large, almost like prepared meal that you could take with you. He says, this should be enough if you can get Gertrude happy.
Yes. And see, HelloFresh, if you were our sponsors here, we would have made those lovely boxes of HelloFresh meals delivered fresh daily to your door. Sponsor us, please.
We just try to get
Use
sponsored by
code, you
HelloFresh.
too can get lots of salted meat.
Use
You know,
code Tabletop Misfits for 10% off of your first.
That's
order.
not.
It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing.
Not
guys.
gonna work.
It's not real.
It's not real. Please don't try that.
Well, or maybe do. Maybe they'll try to figure out what in the hell is going on.
If enough people try and put Tabletop Misfits in the promo code line, some people will call us.
Sooner or later, HelloFresh is gonna be like, why are so many people typing Tabletop
Of course, they're
Misfits
going to give us
in
the
the
Misfit meals, which
promo?
is just like the stuff they should have shipped last week and didn't, but whatever. Like, it's fine.
It's that random code that nobody knows about, but the people that actually use that type of stuff.
Secret menu.
All right. So Mr. Bunce gathers his things and gathers a set of blankets for you all and a large meal, and you all head back to this quite relaxing and quaint little farmhouse. And he takes you back to the stables, and in the stables you can see Gertrude. And Gertrude is a very old mule. And she's skittish, and she's shivering, and just about the time he opens the door, you hear in the rafters, "Ooh."
Ooh.
That would be the owl. I'm certain of it.
That darn thing.
All right, this will only
Back
take 2
again.
moments, and Rory pulls out.
Don't
his
kill
knife.
the bird. They're beautiful.
Aldo, that's just an owl. What's the problem?
And as you're walking back, you notice that there were 2 scarecrows in the front yard too. Don't seem to be working.
Well, you see, Baldo, the problem is you've made scarecrows. You should have made a scare owl.
Yes.
It's a common mistake.
Did you just say
Oh.
scare owl?
Yeah, Lobelio,
Yes.
go stand up.
That's right.
You've
So
never
what are
heard
we
of them.
doing with the?
In order for your hospitality, I've placed the blankets in here. All I ask is that this thing's gone before this morning.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. No worries. Wouldn't be the first owl I've killed.
Please don't shoot the owl.
I promise I'm not gonna shoot the damned owl.
Look, the whole thing is he said, please don't hurt the owl. Let's not hurt the owl. We just need it to go away.
Yes.
Exactly. It'll be gone. Don't worry. I'll take care of the
Look,
owl. I
look,
promise
I-
not to shoot the owl with a bow or anything.
As they're talking, can I snag one of the blankets and just start going up near? Is there like a loft area of this barn?
No, it's a very the stables, though they're
So when you say
They're not very
rafters,
big.
like
yeah,
it's like right there, like I
Look.
can see it.
yeah, exactly.
It's like the birds in Walmart. Like we're just, you know what I'm saying?
Baldo. Listen here, Baldo.
He's already gone. He's already walked back to his house.
I don't know.
I wonder if
all right.
Baldo just tried telling the owl to go away. Paladin, tell the owl to go away, please. So we can all get some sleep.
Go away with you.
No,
Go
please.
away.
Say it kindly. Kindly.
Please go away with you.
The eagles will never come to our rescue if you don't treat them with respect, you see.
Yeah,
That's
they're
what old
afraid of the owl
Gandalf
as
did.
well.
Yeah, roll me a
Lobelia,
courtesy check, Paladin.
you're
Yeah.
great at scaring things away. Maybe try talking to the owl.
Nobili, if this doesn't work, just take you.
First of
I'll
all,
do it. One more mention, it's happening.
I've had enough of your disrespect. I'm going to get rid of this owl right now. and she just
Oh God, she's gonna
marches
do it.
up to where the raptors are. Marches up to where the raptors are.
How'd it go, Paladin?
So is there like an upper deck to this?
Hold on. What'd you get?
Oh, what am I rolling?
Courtesy.
Okay.
Courtesy. I have to be nice to the owl. I should have done that.
Ferdinand told him to be nice to the owl.
Like,
Nicely asked the owl to leave. That's what he said.
hey, old
That is
pigeon,
a-
need you to relocate.
That is an Eye of Sauron.
Just a 1. It's just a 1.
Oh,
It's actually a 0.
And,
that's a 0.
and a 2.
Three?
Not very mercy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Dear
I'm
Lord,
getting
Paladin.
like more
Can I
and more
start panic
agitated
singing
when
at
this
the owl.
owl's not going
And
away.
just like flutters
So I
off.
march up and I want to start pointing at the owl, and I want to use awe. Now you listen here, owl. You will depart from this premises so we can get some sleep and shut up.
All right.
You got an asshole skill you can throw there?
If
Yeah.
this doesn't work, Rory's just going to use hunting to throw a rock at it and knock it out.
And the whole time while Lobelia
Did
is
say knock
saying
it out.
that,
I
I'm
heard
like,
non-lethal.
ooh. Go.
That is an 18, and I pass my strength TN.
Yeah.
Oh, you're an idiot?
No, she's
What are you doing to it?
Using awe?
Oh, it's a strength skill?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
it's a strength. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. You watch as you. What did you get?
On 18.
Yeah. You head straight up to the owl and you start just giving it the business. Just making this owl feel like it's this big. And right about at the time you get to poke at it, the thing flutters off in a fury.
I told you this was the perfect job for you.
You're the worst, Lobelia. Why did you have to be so rude to it?
First of all, I'm not rude. That was an uninvited guest, and I want to get some sleep, so I'm going to sleep.
Now, for the rest of for the audience, just a heads up that because she insulted the owl is going to return to the forest and tell all the other birds that that there is this horribly rude woman that they should all poop on over the next couple weeks.
Welcome to Bird Shit City.
Driving into Bird Shit City, and Lobelia is the mayor.
Rex Lobelia.
They now have a feeling that all hobbits are rude.
It left. The owl just left.
The owl
Yes.
left.
Oh, I cannot wait until I see a goose again. I know exactly what I'm doing.
You've heard the stories of the how smart animals are, yes? I mean, the eagles and Gandalf whispering to moths.
Absolutely. Geese, on the other hand.
All right. Let's bed
I
down
don't
tonight.
like the noise that you made when you were talking about the geese. Can we
Go
talk
on,
about that?
Lobelia.
With the occasional cobra chicken. I don't see an issue with that.
For once, Lobelia's horrendous nature worked to our advantage, so.
I feel like Lobelia needs a hug or a drink. Would you prefer a drink, Lobelia? I have
I
several.
would prefer a drink if you didn't mind.
Okay, fantastic. Let's go settle away from the rest of the insulting group. And I'm going to throw a glance at everybody else like, you better stop her. She might pop a titty or something. We're all going to be struggling. So let's go over here. I'm going to like, dude with the watches, just have like, why does it disappear? I don't want it to disappear. I'm trying to do it for effect. I've got all kinds of little vials and bottles of whatever. So we've got different kinds of wines here. We've got all the different flavors, citrus, different blossoms. What do you prefer?
Something that's rather sweet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Rory Mac mutters
like
under his breath, a little sweet to go with her sour, I guess.
you quiet down, please.
Of course,
So,
I
like,
would expect that
Pass
response from a
a small bottle.
brandy buck.
This is it's similar to a honey mead, but it's made much more carefully. It's quite delicious. You can finish that. Yes. Does anybody else want anything? I have several small. I left home in such a hurry, and I had alcohol in the mind, so I seem to have brought a collection with me.
Well, I was hoping to have some roasted owl for dinner, but that didn't work out.
Jesus Lord, why do you want to kill everything we meet? This is a very strange way to partake in an adventure, and very un-hobbit-like, I must say.
I thought it
To
was
be
an
so
adventure.
If you're gonna be out in if you're gonna be
Yeah,
out
just
in the
Hobbit,
wilderness,
like,
you have to
not
know
this
how to
adventuring.
hunt. You've got to be able to make your own food. What you bring only lasts for so long. You should know this, Ferdinand.
I think we understand that process, but how much meat was on the owl?
Yes.
They're like feathers, beak, and eyeballs. There's not a whole lot left outside of that.
Take those eyeballs, throw them in a pot, stew it up. It's delicious.
You
But there's
cannot
only
make
two
a
of them. There's at
stew
least 3 of us.
with eyeballs from an owl. That's not enough meat.
You make a broth. Throw some vegetables in.
Listen, Paladin, Orangeblossom,
Should I
he's
write that in my
insane.
notes?
Don't listen to it.
I don't
No,
think
no.
we write that in
Would
the
either of you
notes.
two care for a drink?
I wouldn't mind a small nip.
Okay, we've got several different things here.
Don't talk to
Would you go
Luigi
from
in
the? I don't know. What we would? Here, you can try this. I'm gonna give you. It's a similar to the honey mead that I gave to Lobelia, but it's got some berries to it. A little berry bouquet.
Oh, thank
Paladin,
you.
do you have a preference?
I'll try the same thing.
Okay, we have plenty. Yes, so I'm just gonna start passing out drinks. While I won't be able to do this at every instance, it is our first night out, so we can pass out some drinks this evening.
You're literally the Aladdin watch salesman with small vials of alcohol.
With
He's
booze.
Paladin, watch this. This is my famous disappearing cloak I got from the elves.
Your
No,
beard
it's
came
not-
back.
It's not working now. It was working but a moment ago, Paladin.
I think you need a refund.
Sorry.
You look very unlimited power in that like brief moment.
Yes.
as you both are sipping on some unexpected wines and enjoying what seems to be a much more peaceful, stable sleep than you expected.
It is a stable, and I'm sleeping in it, and it isn't
Right.
unexpected. So that is agreed.
But everything throughout the evening passes uneventfully. It seems that the owl did not return, and after
Alright.
after the rooster crows early in the morning, Mr. Buns walks in. He says, "Oh, thank you for helping with all that. Gertrude seems a lot more at ease than she did before."
Our fabulous Lobelia managed to solve that problem for you. If the owl comes back, just insult it until you can't breathe, and it'll leave.
Never
She
thought
sure
of
had,
it.
she had the welcome. She takes a little bit of charm.
Right. Well, thank you once again, and you're welcome to be on your way. And if there's any leftover food that you had from last night, you're welcome to take that too. Hate to.
No, I'm afraid that Drogo ate all of the leftovers.
I did. It was quite. Wait. Don't.
I saw that. I was awake earlier than you. I'm older. I wake up early. It's my ear hairs. They tickle the pillow.
All right. well,
I wink over at Orangeblossom and I'm like, not all the food. Jumps under my bed, like,
just, I was feeling
He pulls out
a
he
bit
pulls
of
out
an early morning
his book
breakfast.
bag, and he's just like, "See, I got a bunch of it."
Come on, give me some thoughts.
Grown
He goes,
boys got to
takes
eat.
care of Gertrude and starts kind of going back to his day, leaving you all alone to.
Well, I'm glad we
Leave when
gave
you're-
Gertrude back another 2 years of her life.
Farewell, Baldo, and we wish you long life and
Good
long
hair.
hair. That's
I
right.
suppose
You
we
heard
should
me, James.
continue on to the.
I feel like I'm getting offended here on this one. It's not-
No, see, you have shaved your head and grown a beard. That is a fashion statement.
Let me rephrase that. I have shaved what is left of the hair on top of my head and grown a beard. That is not a fashion statement. That is called adjusting where the hair comes from.
No,
That
you see,
is.
there are lots of older gentlemen who will just try and manipulate. And that's fine. But shaving your head is not being bald. That
Cloak
is
just kind of
choosing
turns itself on whenever it wants there, huh? Ah,
It
so
does,
why?
yes.
What's happening?
Bit of the elven magic has rubbed off on your cloak as well.
I think it's the
So,
leaves.
As you pass the spot where the southward pass leads off from the main course of the East Road, just as the sun sets, you'll be arriving, and the first star begins to reveal itself. Ahead, you get to a good look at Mickle Delving. On the White Downs, quite a bit larger than Hobbiton, is a tightly packed collection of homes built of wood, brick, and stone. And the occasional hobbit hole, but at the last of the people go about. My thing not moving. Before you can gather your wits about you, you've been swept into the warm. Is going on? Break. My thing is jacking up. Refresh. Once you gather the evening business, your eye cannot help but be drawn to the massive smile to one side of the great cobblestone thoroughfare running through the center of town, the town hall, set to the mayor of the shire. But you know this place more so you can get where you need to go. South of here is a larger wooden building with a red round door that is connected to the main road by way of the small stone path. And this is the Madam House, the museum of the Shire, and your destination. As candles flicker to life behind windows and hobbit folk settle in for the evening, you notice a handful of hobbits carrying stout cudgels and tiny lanterns strolling about. Bounders undoubtedly making their usual rounds. Best to avoid them, though, lest your mischief be discovered.
I haven't had to sneak about like this since my younger years. Let's see if
So
I'm still
everybody
close
needs
to
to
me.
give me a stealth check.
Or no.
Or
That is
Oh, hey,
the
that could be
Gandalf
worse.
rune counts as 11.
12.
Well,
Oh, okay. I've got
and an automatic success. So any Gandalf runes you get on your D6, you can use to help others who might fail.
all right,
I
so
got
I got
one.
21 with an automatic success and a Gandalf rune.
I have failed.
I have 22, and one of those was a 6, so it's a success.
yeah, I have a 19 and I have an additional success.
Just roll one of the d12s if we don't have any, and then like I have 3 pips in it, so it's 3d6 and a 12, right? So I rolled this
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Okay, so I got the Gandalf rune on the 12. Gandalf rune.
Okay. Yep.
I got 2 Gandalf runes on the d6 and a 5.
Very
So
nice.
Can I hand
As-
Ferdinand a success?
yeah, between you and I believe Rory got the other one.
And
I got one.
They
and
all
you
got
both
extra.
succeeded. Paladin, what'd you get?
I got 19.
Yeah, so Drogo, as you're walking by, you immediately notice the Bounders as Ferdinand is puffing up on pipeweed and heads off, and you grab the back of his cloak and pull him back just as the Bounder is about to cross
Dear Lord.
Whoa there, friend.
your pattern.
Be gentle
And-
with me. I'm an old man.
You all go
He
silent
wouldn't have been gentle.
as you watch 2 stout hobbits with what looks like a giant, well, a very small club and a lantern in one hand as they're
Did you say
walking through. Now, for others that are not familiar with this, Bounders are mostly dealing with animals that are getting into things or scaring off, wolves that might be in the area near the farms. They're not really expecting burglars, so they're not really prepared for that kind of. So
As we're
Did you say
bounding through the
stock
shadows.
Stocky hobbits.
Stout. I heard stock hobbits, and I was like,
what
like
is
the
it?
just pre-gen character 1? Like, what do you mean?
No, that would be a
Oh,
hobbit from
hobbits.
the city of Stock, which is another town in
Gotcha.
the Shire. It's fine.
Correct.
Gotcha. I'm on board now. We're good. Understood.
Talk hobbits, yes, they like to hodl, I hear.
Yeah.
Go diamond hands to the moon. GameStop, yo.
As we're going through the shadows, I'm very, very quietly singing my own theme song, like Kronk from Emperor's New Groove.
I just imagine you doing the Mission Impossible, like. Dun.
Everybody's just stopped watching him like quickly dart between trees.
I'm
That's for some
rolling.
reason.
I'm doing like
barrel
somersaults.
roll.
All in the
Yeah.
leaves.
So
They've
since
buggered off. They're not
you're-
even here anymore. What are you doing?
I'm sneaking.
So normally, the Madam House is not expecting visitors to be just popping in the middle of the night, right? But this is also hobbits, and they leave their doors unlocked. And they don't really take too much to vandalism and those types of things, so they wouldn't expect it. So as you get to the Madam House, you now notice that as you go up towards it, the door is unlocked.
It's a trap.
Oh, it's not a trap. Who locks doors around here?
Yes, indeed. Hobbit security is very lax, you'll find. And remember that, young paladin, when you're out and about, everyone else locks their doors. But if they were fleeing from danger, you remember a hobbit can always just go in their house without having to fumble around with keys. Whereas the men of Bree and such, they would be struggling for several moments to find the key, put the key in, and that's how they die. That's how they die.
I've
Are
got
we
a
just
15
standing in
on
an opening in front of a
awareness.
door while this narration is happening?
Yes.
Like, did we just stop the whole adventure for him to explain how keys are the devil? Like, did we?
We so did.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't expect
like-
this. This is the Hobbit way. Like,
No, it's like not like angrily, like he does that. All of a sudden, you like pipes start getting lit. We're all like,
The wisdom.
understood. Makes sense.
I got a 15 on awareness to kind of see, like, get an idea of what's going on around us, the door, the property.
The property is very well made. Of course, the door seems to be not booby trapped or anything like that because we're not in that type of a world. And the bounders have kind of moved off in the distance. You can see the candlelight kind of bobbing its way off the opposite direction, leaving you guys all open to enter.
Time to
Paladin.
explore.
Yes, actually, Orangeblossom, it's your turn.
Oh.
You should be the lead infiltrator. Go on then. Go inside and follow your lead.
All right. Wait 10 seconds, and then you come next.
All right.
And she
Wait,
what? So I need a stealth check from you. So you head in. Actually, no. Before you do that, as you walk into the door, I need you to give me a scan check.
Oh, okay, what's that? It's a Gandalf.
Yeah.
Thanks.
My brain did not comprehend what just happened. It's a Gandalf. It's like where?
So it's a 12. It's a 12. Sorry. Oh no, Gandalf's
it?
here. Yeah, because I don't have any things to scan.
Which is good because
Yeah.
what's your TN?
What's scan? Is that what's?
Wits.
Yeah. 15.
Yeah. So if you wouldn't have gotten the Gandalf, which is an automatic success, then you would have failed. So since you automatically succeeded, you walk in, you look around, and you see this small purple pillow in the corner, and in there is the cutest tiny little terrier that's just sniffling and kind of snoring away. And you catch an eye as you glance, and you can see almost like this glimmering line of like silver between between two books, and that somehow catches your eye. In between what looks like an old almanac of Hobbiton and ancient recipes of Buckland, You push the side of it, and inside there, slit literally in the middle, is a very old cloth mat.
7, 8, 9.
Wait,
10.
wait,
Let's go.
Wait. Paladin was more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Here we go.
The Orangeblossom is like,
As you find
Paladin.
that, Paladin, roll me your scan check.
May I
Also going
my
in.
head outside just to look to see if like the what'd you call them the
Bounders?
NPC hobbits come back. Bounders, those.
NPC hobbits.
I was a whopping 1.
I've got a 6.
Y'all need to slow down and save some dice for the rest of us.
So this is a scan check, which neither of us has pips in, I'm assuming.
Oh, okay.
So as you both pop into the door, you both are greeted by a very tiny terrier that's about to bark.
Paladin, do you have any bacon? It's all right. It's a little love.
Bacon. And I pull out like fists full of bacon.
If you're trying to comment, please give me a courtesy roll. And I will say, because you're using actual food, you can do that with favor.
I want to do that as well, and while he's distracting it, I'm just going to take a big drag of my pike lead, and then when he's got it distracted, I'm just going to in its face.
It's 16, and I rolled Gandalf on the 12 again.
I rolled Gandalf on the 12 as well.
Goodness gracious.
We
You
are
guys look
just
dynamite.
rocking it tonight.
Listen, the kids like animals.
The kids like animals. You watch
Especially with bacon.
you watch as the small terrier starts to get ready to start yipping, and you toss out the bacon real fast. And as you do, it starts to just chew on it as you give it scritches, and it slowly just kind of walks back with a piece of bacon hanging like halfway, like just dragging against the ground as it curls up in a ball, and it's on its pillow and it's right back to sleep.
You know, I'm not just a people doctor, I'm also an animal doctor. The amount of bacon you've just given that dog, he's definitely going to develop pancreatitis and die.
It's
So-
just once.
No, that's all it takes, I'm afraid. This is a public service announcement. Don't feed your dog tremendous amounts of bacon, because it will get pancreatitis and be very, very sick unless it seeks immediate medical attention. Don't do like Paladin and Orangeblossom. Love your pet. Take care of it.
What in the commercial break just happened?
I don't know what you're talking about, Drogo. Let's get on with it.
Orangeblossom holds up the map.
Oh,
I found it.
well done. Good
I
job.
didn't mean
This
to
is
hurt
a
the puppy.
beautiful, fully annotated map of the entire Shire. It's got markings, but you look and you can see that these markings are very old. So some of the towns that you're seeing on there are not the same names. Some of them aren't there yet, but it's just engorged, and you can see lines being drawn and little markings and symbols, and you're guessing most of this is stuff that the old Took himself had drawn on there for reasons.
It's most beautiful.
Where's that bloody sword at?
Oh, and look, Orangeblossom, the dog has vomited up all of the bacon. He's probably going to be fine now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's fine now, I'm sure. Look, here. And I'll reach into my pack and pull out some, like, charcoal and shove it down the dog's throat to neutralize the fat.
Thank you, Uncle.
You're going to go look for the sword,
Oh, absolutely.
Rory? Okay. Roll me a scan check.
All right. I got a 16.
16. With a 16, you definitely notice that inside of not the room you guys are in, but there's a room behind it. Inside of a glass case is the magnificent display of Sting.
When I see him looking at it, I pull my bow. would be most un-hobbit-like to disturb something of that sort of cultural importance, if you understand.
I'm just looking at it, that's all.
Oh, I knew you were, Rory Mac. You're a good sort. Put the
That sounded
bow
like a
back.
veiled threat, Ferdinand.
Shut up, Lobelia.
That's what I thought.
You're an ugly, ugly dog woman, and I don't want you to talk to me.
Your sight is terrible, old man.
Your boobs are weird.
But you keep staring at them.
It's because it's like the sun. It's like a train wreck.
Let's get out of here now.
Oh,
Let's go.
yes. We got the thing, didn't we?
So as you grab the map and you scurry out,
Exactly like one of Master Bilbo's adventures.
Indeed, we retrieved a piece of paper from a completely unguarded space. Exactly like when he defeated the dragon Smaug. Very good, very astute, young paladin.
for the next, day to a day and a half, but finally you take your trip back through Waymeet off into Bag End. And after you've recovered the map of the Shire and your swift journey home, you are greeted once again by a most magnificent green door of the Bag End being thrown open like a pop gun to reveal Mad Baggins himself standing there with a smile on his face. You found it! Wonderful! Simply wonderful!
And
Come
we
on,
can get
step in.
on our
I'd
way.
love to hear the adventure. Tell me everything.
Go ahead, young paladin.
Well, there was a herd of owls that followed us.
How
Must
would
have
you
been
say?
70 at least.
70. Fantastic.
And Lobelia
I'll write
looked
it
at them
in-
and they all died.
They can't handle my beauty, of course.
It kind of gives that as much as I do believe that you might have found an owl or two, but when you said that Lobelia scared it away, no, I do believe you. Because
Right. Didn't scare them away. Killed them. Dead. Stone dead. One look.
Which means you're next on the list, Bilbo.
You can try.
Yeah, now you've got your damnable map. Now tell me,
looks over,
what's the purpose of it?
he takes the thing, he rolls it out onto the thing, and you can look all across, and he starts pointing out. He goes, "Oh, this is where, we had my first pipe weed smoke, and this is where my grandfather took me to go fishing. This is..." And slowly but surely, he just kind of goes through the rhythm of the place. And you can almost see a tear come down his cheek as he just reminisces about his time in the Shire.
I'll go over and put a shoulder on him. A hand on his shoulder. There, Bilbo.
No.
Adventuring days aren't over yet. You've still got a few good old stories in you yet, don't you? Hey.
He glances over and he looks straight at his walking stick.
There and back again once more, eh? Roll credits.
Right. You might be right. You might be right. This might be a time for maybe another adventure. But not yet. I think I need to do a little more research. And with that, he thanks you all kindly. And he slowly, one by one, with not only a grand thank you, but a bottle of brandy buck wine to each of you, as he hands you all and allows you all and have you take your leave. And as you do, he taps Ferdinand on the shoulder and he says, Your niece And you still have a Took's mind, and she is a pure Took, to be sure. Now the true adventure begins. And you wait for most of the evening until the lights of the stars start to show and the moon is bright. And you take it over to that circular window on his study, and he reveals the map once again. But this time, you see Elvish writing in lights up across. He says, "And our true adventure begins here. I need you to go head towards the elves and find out what his mysteries are on Old Took's map."
And not only that, Bilbo, but it was right clever of you to send me along with these younglings to see which of them had the mind and the spirit for the adventure. I agree. Lobelia was stupid and awful. Rory Mac was a tad too violent. Drogo a bit too concerned with the comforts of home. And young Paladin, though he will be ready eventually, he's not quite there. But Orangeblossom, she is right. You're right. She is ready.
That our story ends for the evening.
End credit
Welcome.
scene. Paladin
Yep.
2 comes back and goes, Master Ferdinand, the thing you said about the pancreas, that's okay for us to eat, right? Because I ate 9 pounds of bacon.
No.
In humans, it causes a condition called diabetes mellitus. And, but we hobbits do seem to be particularly resistant to it, so I believe that you will be okay.
Excellent.
Now,
And I
here,
grab
have
a
some more
bunch more
limbus
bacon.
bread.
Now as the end credits play, then we cut the scene again and we go to the end credits. For those that stuck around, and let me make sure I know. Let me get our thing so I'm sure of it. But please, if you've stuck to the end, Techman, help me. Please type Shire in the chat room to be eligible for the digital copy of the One Ring. And once again, while we're doing that, everybody, thank you for coming.
Yeah, great turnout.
2 of them will be joining us for our full-time adventure.
James, hang on just 1 second. Just to clarify, did they need to type hashtag Shire or just Shire?
I believe it's just
Shire. The tech man saved.
Tech man saved it. So, yep, just type Shire in once, and then we'll, once we go through thank yous, of course, then we'll roll and we'll see what happens, who wins. But no, so we'll be bringing back Ferdinand and Orangeblossom. Thank you, Rormac, for coming. Ben, thank you for joining us for the Hobbit intro of the One Ring. And of course, we will find out who Phil, Austin, and Allan are actually playing, along with another fine individual that will be joining us all next week. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that follow button. If you can, offer us a subscription. That is just a way to help us grow and continue to advance in our tech. If you want to be a part of the journey, hop over to our Discord. And if you want to support us any other way, hop over to social media, give us a like, give us some comments, give us some feedback. And if you want to be a part of it, come join us over on Patreon, where you can create your own NPC that will show up in the adventure itself. And until then, we need to find out who our giveaway is for. Drum roll, please. Waiting.
Probably in Sirenscape somewhere.
You're good.
Oh.
It is case sensitive.
Useless. So is it capital S or? Okay. So lowercase s. Make sure. Oh, and thank you for our anonymous.
Thank you for the gift.
Bye.
Wow.
Thank you.
Gifticles. There we go. Mad Hat's
And
Cats.
Mad Hat's Cats has
Woo!
won our digital. So all I need from you is to get a hold of the Tabletop Misfits. Actually, you know what? I'll have one of our people reach out to you to get an email, and then we'll get that over to Free League to get you your free copy. So, Eric, can you take care of that for me? Eric, just reach out to him and get an email from him so we can get him a copy. And thank you, anonymous gifters. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, lots of laughs. I'm sure it's going to continue that way. And as we start to learn the mechanics, we might be messing up here and there, but that we're still learning. So as we continue our adventure, we'll learn all together. And until then, we'll see you guys all next week for the actual first episode of There and Back Again, yet again. A One Ring RPG live play. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.